black pieces again here. D3. D3 means I think we'll be able to set this up because the opponent doesn't appear to be doing anything other than the hippo. Everyone might be tempted by this, but because the reaction will just be e4, I'm not that excited. And once again, I wouldn't normally play this system against a d3 move because this is not ideal. I'd rather have the pawn on c5 here, but it's okay. We'll play e5, and especially after I see this move, definitely e5. Bishop takes is hitting a bunch of stuff. This looks pretty good. Uh-oh. Okay, well, at the very least, we're going to take here. I think rook to e8 makes the most sense. We just want to take this pawn and no objection from the opponent. So, oh, no, that wasn't a very difficult game, was it? Really strange here, these 1500s. That's an unusual game. Don't mind if I do pick up a very, very easy win. I don't know, philosopher. I can't explain what we just saw there. Guy was making moves instantly, like he knew what was going on and he didn't have a clue. Yeah, I mean, you see a move like this, no brainer, open the center, especially when your opponent has been making so many pawn moves and not developing pieces. Yeah, it's not even close here. We definitely want to open the center. And this is a playable 1 hour, but not the way he did it, right? The sort of hedgehog, hippo systems, they're fine, but do this. Put the knight there. At least that one, I'm not winning in like a couple moves, but you're going to break the rules a little bit. Play this. Don't put the bishop there. Play f4. Yeah, you're going to get in trouble. Gonna get in trouble. Well, we start with a nice queen sack mate for Salty. All right, now this time I'm serious. This time, surely we're gonna get the white pieces. All right. Let's go d4, knight f3, e3. This is usually how I start. And then here it's kind of a toss-up. I might play a3 here. My thing with b3 is that the lower ratings, a lot of people give this check. I might just play now because I'm kind of curious if we're going to still see that. And he does just go there. Interesting. Okay, let's go bishop b2. Goes knight d7. So keep in mind that this move is not playable here, right? Shouldn't be a concern right now. Okay. It's definitely looking like a knight e5 game. I think I'm going to jump it in right now and maybe play f4 next. I kind of like doing it at this particular moment because I figure that if he takes and plays knight here, then, for example, if my bishop was here and his bishop was there and I took, there would be, like, my bishop would be hit. So I'd rather have this happen now. We could take, and I think we just play queen g4 here. It's a really natural next move after, like, the pawns getting like this is something we've seen before. Playing this, it's not as good as you might think because I think c5 keeps it under control, but I really like queen out to g4. It is a double attack, and we can also castle long, which will bring the rook into the middle. So I quite like that as well. Queen takes e4 here is hitting that rook. Very easy to miss. Okay, interesting move there. It looks like maybe this is a move, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not convinced. So bishop a6 is a very, very strange move, to be sure. We're just going to defend our bishop, and I don't know what the heck this guy's up to. Is this gonna be yet again a very, very easy game? The guy just hung a piece, like the most blatant hanging piece I've ever seen. Just, what the heck is this? I would really like my opponent to potentially take on G2. So, I mean, look, we can castle here, and I don't think there's anything going wrong in the world, but maybe we can also entice, because, I mean, I'll just castle long. Like, surely we have a pretty fun attack brewing there. I'm up a piece as well, so I can't be that upset. Okay, he's guarding his pawns. I haven't really thought about them. Use the H pawn here. So I'm basically giving him 3 pawns, and wow. Definitely surprised by that. I'm trying to figure out what his plan is with this one. I guess let's put this rook here. Has to be useful. Oof. Jeez. This is oh my goodness, guys. It's just it's not his game. It's not his game. Nah, I could have castled kingside and just defended the pawn, 0 issues, but I thought we would just go on the attack with our extra piece. Seems like a pretty high percentage thing to do, and yeah, we were absolutely cooking there. I mean, pawns all in light squares. My bishop was about to make an absolute career over there on f6. But this one at least is a product of our opening and definitely one to pay attention to. I really like 95 now. He can't take like that, as we know. If he does take like this, 94 is no good. On account of queen to g4, and we get a castling with the rook in the middle. We win a pawn guaranteed. Follow up with maybe bishop d3 with pressure on h7. Like, for example, if he castled and played this, I think we would have played bishop d3, g6. Maybe we could long castle now. And yeah, he can play knight c5, but the pawns here already indicate huge dark square weaknesses. h4, h5. White's absolutely smashing this game. No mercy, Brazilian monk. 765 bits. Thank you, Brazilian. The power's on, man. You know, we're not letting up. You said the power's on. The power's on. I had to take out one of your guys, though, Brazilian monk. I had to take out a Brazilian. Hope you don't mind. And in the opening, you can see the makings of our system here. I just skipped maybe a move ahead and played 95 because I could see he was kind of copying my system. And so I wanted to be quick with 95 and f4. Make sure to distinguish my position from his. All right, we're up against Nicholas here. We'll definitely start with d4. Same thing as last time, same thing as every time. But when I see this move, I'm definitely anticipating the move d6. We do see it, and this put together should mean you do not play these two moves. Instead, we go for something more like this. More like c4, more like knight c3, and less knight d2, bishop d3. Okay, hanging pawn there, so he's going to have to react to that, and he does. e5. Most of the time when we see stuff like this, I've just been leaving it there. We can even play g3 to make some space for the bishop as well. If d5, I think we'll just see c5. I think I'll go g3. Kind of acts as like an escape square, and it's not an escape square on a dark square, which feels good. because the guy's got a dark square bishop. So that's not exactly exciting for me. Play h3. Go queen c2, rooks into the middle. Probably move this bishop back preemptively ahead of the move e4. Okay, he decides to take. Rook d1 and rook e1 are going to be easy moves to play next. Bishop seems well placed, and yeah, these types of positions, they're nothing too special, but I enjoy them. They feel pretty easy to play. Especially d5 here. I kind of like d5. I think it's the move that we want to be playing. It gives up e5, but I think my bishop can be saved pretty nicely, and we can play knight here. I'm not sure that it does anything. Yeah, maybe knight there just to make him play a6, but it's always hard to tell in those spots if your move is actually helpful or not. Like, is it doing anything, or just go here? Okay, let's keep this bishop. And my definite recommendation is kick the knight out, but not before you cover g4. Just make sure that move is not a possibility. And yeah, I think h3 is very important here. Also, another thing, I'm not that interested in trading these bishops. It would really depend on the position. But yeah, I'm not super excited to just go, walk in and just trade them. Okay, I was gonna double the rooks here, but his last move is quite generous. I think he just trapped his own knight, and this is why I was saying h3 is super important. One of these knight moves will be played so that he can win some material back. And knight g4 is definitely going to be the selection. We're going to take, the knight's going to take, and we just need to be like a little bit cautious of bishop d4 here and knight e3. So I think knight d1 is the prescription. Cover this, cover this. Maybe bishop h3 helps us trade. I think bishop to f3 makes a good amount of sense. Clearly this wants to happen. It's maybe worth playing a5 quickly. He might, I was gonna say, might blunder the position, but maybe he's gonna go here now. So let's try, can we go knight f2? Watch over those squares, and then I think we're doing a good job now. This should get us I was gonna say get us a trade, but queen f6 actually looks forced, so I think we're getting a queen trade here instead. And this looks pretty nice. We just want to trade and then trade again. Oh, okay. I thought that's what we wanted to do. Let's push this. Remove king h2 just so that in case he plays h4 before h3, it doesn't come with a surprising check while we're pre-moving. So once again, we stick to what we always play against this. And I really recommend, like, it's a great opening as white, but just don't force it and go bishop d3, knight d2. It's not good against this. So don't try to be a hero. Instead, it's so simple. Bishop e2 castle. So we fix our bishop from d3 to e2. We fix our knight from d2 to c3. And because we're fixing our knight there, we must play the pawn in front, because I'm not interested in a position where the knight on c3 is in front of the pawn. And yeah, it's just a very spacious position. Bishop pair. h3 is a key ingredient here. And being aware that if I traded these dark square bishops, my position wouldn't always be good. I would be left with a light squared bishop and a lot of light square pawns. So I might be interested if there's an attack, but in general, I might even play bishop c1 so as to not trade those pieces. These positions for black, CTJ, I actually like when I'm playing a weaker player as white, because I know as black that my opponent doesn't really have a good understanding and might play something like knight e4, you know what I mean? And we might end up in a position like this very easily. And all of a sudden, like, black is just going to win because, as I said, you don't want to just trade those dark square bishops. But almost, yeah, no one really understands that. So the likelihood of these bishops being traded is very, very high. But yeah, if you start playing, like, you wouldn't see people playing bishop c1 consistently probably until 2300 chess.com blitz. Not that nobody could produce it, but in general, your average 2000, your average 2200 is not even fully conscious of this, because there's many title players that also would just, like, might play knight d1 or whatever, just a random move and allow these bishops to trade. So I feel like the outlook here on average is actually quite good for black. But if you play someone that does know what they're doing as white, I agree with you. It's so painful to play a position like this with black. You have absolutely nothing to do, but it's amazing how your opponent's understanding really changes whether or not you're willing to play the position. d4, definitely with the knight next, then with e3, and again, not sure if people are playing bishop b4 at this rating. In general, it seems not. It's definitely a more low elo thing. The knight goes here. Not seeing any immediate danger, but I will definitely include the move a3. For example, I won't play this probably because it allows the knight to go there. This is approaching a very good position for us. As you guys know, we have a couple, things on our checklist, right? Knight b4 has been stopped. Knight e4 is not possible. And e5 is prevented. So all that put together probably tells you that our position is very, very good. Okay, so it's time to get our knight in. Follow up with f4. So he's going here, and guess what? His next move is definitely going to be this, followed by this. So this would be a moment where I'm starting to think a little bit ahead, and I'm like, okay, how am I actually going to handle c4? Am I okay with that one? Not so sure. I look at the move e4. I look at the move f5. Those are my the two most interesting moves to me. Looking to just open the position. And yeah, this and this both look pretty good. I guess I'll try e4. But I like f5 as well, and I guess I might just send f5 now. I mean, this one might still happen. You want to go here. Yeah, this has to be an f5 moment. Oh, he takes. That's surprising. Feels like f6 is one of those attacking moves that, I don't know, you almost just play. First of all, his bishop is not doing much here, so definitely think it needs to be brought back. It's one of those moves that you're almost required to play. Oh, what the hell? Whoa. See, not this guy's playing like instantly. Like no thought behind these moves. Okay, I do think this bishop belongs back here. Like, queen needs to move, but that's fine. Actually, we kind of get chased where we want to go. G3 facilitating bishop takes, and instead he's actually capturing, which is really surprising. He's excited to blunder. But yeah, these kind of opponents that play like immediately always really confuse me, and then just resigning here, like not even trying to flag me, since the only thing he's been trying to do the entire game is play fast. I don't understand these type of opponents at all. Very confusing stuff. Well, not much to say. We just launched this insane attack and went from there. This move looked good. G4, F5 looked good. E4 and F5 looked good. Knight F3 looks good. Rook over. Queen out. But I would say this position right here is pretty much your dream game. Like, black has one of the worst positions. Just absolutely nothing going on here. So this is our system through and through. This is what it looks like. Castle, knight to e5, queen on e2 isn't even 100% necessary. Could just go knight e5 right now. With f4, it's all the same. All the same. But yeah, this is a dream. This is exactly what we want. And kingside attack from here. It's important not to calculate f6. f6 you just need to play. That's it. Just got to play it. Okay. I think we at least have a chance to try to get our setup here with the black pieces. So let's keep in mind, if he tries to play e4 here with these moves, we need to stop it by bringing our knight in. So either of those moves, knight to e4 makes a lot of sense. He's having to think here. Maybe he's just going to play. Okay, so here we go. Great example, right? No matter if we're white or playing with black, we just don't allow e4 to get played. So we put our knight in, even though we're not even castled yet. The problem is if we get ready to castle, he's going to have time to play e4. So we need to jump in early, jump in immediately. He goes knight there. We could take, we could also play our bishop out to d6. But I feel like taking does make some sense here. If we just had our bishop on d6 and he couldn't play this move, that would be ideal. But obviously, can't have everything. I feel like taking does make a good deal of sense here. We kind of want to back this knight up, but maybe f3 is happening, you know? Maybe f3 is happening. Okay, I'll go bishop here. Kind of see if he wants to take, or I don't know, f4 or knight f3. I actually did not expect this one. Intriguing move. He's allowing e5 to be taken. I guess we'll do it. Take this. It does guard this pawn. Interesting. f4. It's a very weird move because I thought he was planning to take here. We could try just f5 here to support that knight extra. It's not even necessary. I can bring the bishop back and we're up a pawn, but yeah, it definitely feels like this is safe to play. Queen h5. We have g6. And now I can save this bishop. Bishop f6 or bishop g7, for example. Okay. Save this piece. Castle. You know, we have a very strong grip on the center. I definitely sense that knight g5 is problematic enough that we might need to play h6. Just castling, takes, knight g5. 2 threats. Seemed annoying. Doesn't excite me to have to waste time with this, but makes sense, that move. Let's castle. Well, let's go here and see what he wants to do. I have a feeling he might play bishop here or something. I'm mainly doing it just to see how he reacts, not because I think this move's exceptional. Okay, we can see the problem with that, but we're getting a full rook here, right? A full rook, not even just, yeah, this should be pretty meaningful. And this knight can return here. Also, every single bishop square is covered. One thing that people keep missing is the knight going backwards. I think we just rescue ourselves here, and we're up a piece. Take this back. Looks pretty good. Oh, so he's gonna lose this piece. I think he's kind of excited by queen takes here, but that really doesn't feel like it's worth it to me. Probably queen h7 was better. Would have forced a trade. Let's get our queen in the mix. King g7 and rook h8 looks tempting. Queen e5 is covered. Oh, it's also covered. Ooh, a mega discovered, double smothered, all the checkmates at once. All the checkmates at once. At least we got a look at our opening here, didn't we? We got to play d5, and again, just pay attention. One thing you'll notice is that every single game we've ever played in this entire series so far, our opponent has never broken in the center with e4 or e5. Now, it doesn't mean we've played perfect, but that's one thing that we haven't had to deal with. Imagine that you just develop instead. Your opponent is going to play this, and it's very difficult to avoid these trades. It changes the nature of the game completely. You trade a ton of pieces. You lose your central control. You don't have a bad position, but you just don't have an interesting position. Okay, d4. Now, in this one, I feel like bishop d3 does make some sense here. We are able to control that square. Now here, I have a feeling he might play queen c7. This is, to me, the most annoying version of controlling this square, because at queen e7, rook e8, I can just play that. But you see how queen c7, I actually have no way of stopping e5. Nothing. So for this reason, I'm actually going to play it first, because queen c7 I can meet with f4. Whereas if I didn't play it and I played knight d2, I'd be looking at queen c7, and then suddenly I can't put my knight there, and I can't guard the square at all. So looks pretty annoying. Ooh, if this knight moves, there's the classic bishop h7, but I don't really think that it can. As for this, c4 is not a problem. Takes is not a problem. I think even just g4, g5 can be played here. I'm going to give it a go. Very aggressive, of course, but that's what this opening is all about. I mean, the knight's trapped. You kind of have to go to e4 here. Hitting the rook, and well, this move definitely looks like the move you want to play here. You just need to be careful of a few things. I mean, it has to work, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. But I have to admit, I haven't really got past this. Like, I just assumed, okay, there's something here. Let's find out what it is. We have a hanging knight as well, so it feels like there should be enough here. If we go like this and g6, there's knight f6, so I wouldn't say that's completely over. Queen g6 also doesn't really lead anywhere. I can't lift the rook because of the bishop, but that doesn't mean that we don't have other options. Knight takes knight looks pretty reliable, I would say. Yeah, kind of like that because it threatens knight f6. So in the end, it's just taking material, but I think it's actually one of the smarter moves as well. Like queen takes c2 threatens mate, but knight f6 and queen h5 is checkmate for us. So yeah, knight f6 is a very reliable checkmate pattern here. Nice. Winning in just 20 moves. But this is always a really nice pattern. I get this in London all the time. But yeah, when you have the knight in the middle and they move their rook, they'll almost always have a knight on d7. And even if they don't, they might play knight d7 to get rid of your knight. And as soon as they move this knight, you're always going with bishop h7, queen h5. And the minimum is that you have a draw there, and you'll always have better than a draw. So I think g4 was the right call here. g4, g5. I don't know if it was, definitely the best move, but certainly looked the most tempting. Pawn to d4, knight f3, e3. We start every game like this. This guy goes bishop there first, so I guess I'll play knight here. Okay. Very unusual. I know b3 is standard, but in this case, we're obviously being tempted to play the full b4 move. I'm just gonna go here, but yeah, I think I'll play b4. I'm not against that. Yeah, at this point, full b4 is looking fine. I wonder. I might just start with the knight. We still have this move if we need, followed by bishop there right away. Goes knight here. b4 makes a lot of sense, but still nothing makes more sense than f4. He's done something really weird with this bishop, so I'm just holding off on bishop b2, but I'm basically one move away from getting it no matter what, because I know that b4 gets to move the bishop, and then I can play it. Okay, he goes here. I think we have to just take now. This was a really weird way that he decided to play. All right. And I think we'll just be taking this and playing the opposite bishop position. And I say that because opposite bishop positions are always great for attacks. Let's go here. So we're threatening this pawn. He doesn't seem to care, and he just plays f6, which is interesting. could be smart. I'm not sure. I might try this first. Although, interestingly, f5 could have been tried. Let's do this one. Instead of taking the pawn and playing that position, which looks pretty nice, I'm wondering about rook f1 here. It seems to be the move. Queen here, queen f4, and we're threatening the pawn. I mean, yeah, this move looks normal. Doesn't actually go for it, but he does make a threat. I think we could play this move, but obviously queen takes e4, guarding the pawn as well, looks like something that's really hard to refuse. Queen e5 definitely looks pretty good, but again, queen f4, hard to turn these types of moves down, especially because I think queen f4, he might play queen g6, which would be a bit unfortunate for him. Okay, we have a clean extra pawn. What do we want to do with this? Let's just leave the bishop like that. Okay. Take. We'll take again. Look, it's a lot of extra pawns. That's all I'm going to say. It's a lot of extra pawns. We have a lot of pawns going forward right now. The bishop's kind of keeping the king trapped in there. Probably should have gone the other way, but thought maybe he'd go back. We'll go here for fun. Gotta play h3, man. Gotta do it. Oh no. You had to play h3 at least to fight. h3 was needed, at least for the opportunity. GG. Yet another inspiring opening. Black did something very weird, which is put the bishop out when c3 can just be played. The only reason I'm not playing it is it just doesn't really suit our system here. But otherwise, bishop b4 is quite a bad move. Makes no sense. So you should never be playing moves like, for example, me playing bishop b5 here would just be awful. They never serve a purpose. If a move like this can be played, it's like truly pointless to play it. But for some reason he did it anyway, which was mildly annoying to get what we wanted set up. However, it didn't really affect us and decided to just go like this. Could have decided to play, you know, b4 and like bishop b2 and f4. This would have been just fine as well. But decided to go f4 first, and we got the game that we got, where we were basically going to win a pawn no matter what. So I can't tell if this really paid off for him. d4, we already know what's coming next. Knight, pawn, right? Every time. Knight here. Yeah, as I said, I have been playing this a bit more at higher ELO. Almost nobody plays bishop b4, as they shouldn't. I think now, do we have time for this one? I mean, do we even need to? Just because we have knight d2 coming. I think we might go here. There's knight b4 coming, but it's... I mean, I'm really wondering about e5, and it's not the easiest to prevent. I would say these maybe 3 moves make the most sense. Yeah, he picks the most normal one. A3 is definitely a move that I want to do, but it does feel like, for example, queen here, rook here, it's quite tough to prevent e5. And I think I would like to prevent e5 more than anything, so I think I'll castle here. Okay, he goes here. We can play rook e1, or we could just jump in with the knight straight away. One of the reasons I don't like the knight right away is queen c7. I have to play f4 and then knight b4. And I feel like my bishop and my pawn are hit. And I'm not sure that I have a good... Yeah, like, I don't feel like I have a good way to handle that. So that's what I'm currently wrestling with. Just the move order. Although, it might be fine because c2 could be difficult to capture. I think we'll go for that. Yeah, so he goes here. Definitely the most sensible move. Ooh, he takes. Interesting. I'm not so sure about that. Yeah, remember the same tactic we had last time where the knight was here? And I was saying, well, look out for tactics. If you play queen h5, maybe g6 hangs on for a second. But this is what I mean. Bishop takes h7 should be smarter as the first move, because then it's the exact same tactic that we just did. But obviously the pieces are slightly different. So, okay, he's just gonna resign. Yeah, I mean, that tactic is gonna be absolutely paying dividends for you, whether it's with a knight on e5. In this case, we happen to have a rook on f1, but it's the same idea. Instead of like making a double attack, hitting both pawns, just sack the bishop, and then it comes with check, and then you get the other pawn. In this case, I would be able to take the rook if we wanted, but the rook's completely unnecessary. The guy's mated. Like, it's just mate. That's it. Pretty crushing position there. What I was saying is I was expecting black to go here, which I thought was the best move. My plan, unfortunately, would have to be this. I would have to capture this with something and then boot the knight out. And if knight c2, I had rook c1 in order to try to make the most of it. But this was the closest to, you can see our opponent's trying to get e5, and we just didn't have anything to do about it. If I spend time to guard knight b4, this is going to happen, and we're just not going to have enough time to stop this because we need to castle. And this I don't want. I'd rather deal with the other position than this, because I feel that this, yeah, it's not really the game we're trying to play. It's not a bad position. In fact, white's probably slightly better against the isolated pawn, but it's just not the position we're trying to play. So based on the move order, yeah, I had to kind of allow knight b4 here momentarily just to make sure that we stopped this. Even if we went rook e1, it would have been the same deal. You know, if we played a3, then it felt like e5. So I much prefer stopping e5 at all costs and then dealing with the repercussions. And we make 1600 with that, 1602. It's nice we got to do it on the white piece. It seems like, you know, chess.com is at least sensible there, handing us the white pieces as we hit a new rating milestone. They know what the fans want to see. Yep, your position is going to be much more foreign compared to the games we've usually got if your opponent gets e5 than if your opponent achieves knight b4. The first thing is, even if they take your bishop, let's imagine worst case, and your pawn takes back. You still have a knight in the middle of the board, supported by f4, and the ability to lift pieces to the king side and pawn storm and bring your queen out. So you still have an attack. And that's in the absolute worst case. Worst case. So that's not bad. You're still on the attack. Everything is still very stable. And in the end, the pawn stops knight e4. But there's many better cases than that as well. You can move the bishop and play a3 next. Bishop b5 comes with tempo. We have a lot of resources, but I'd much rather you deal with that position than prevent knight b4 and deal with e5. So e5 is the absolute most important thing to stop in the opening.
Thank you for making it to the end of another episode of the Colle Zukertort speedrun. It's definitely one of the easiest attacking weapons to learn in chess, so I hope that this series is making it easier to understand. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next episode.